Welcome to Warrior Park for Sunday afternoon NPL Tasmania football here. It's Olympia taking on South Hobart in the final game of round 13. The sunny Eastern Shore, not the nicest day over this side of the river, to be honest. Pretty high prevailing winds right now. It's going to be tough conditions for the players. You can't even see the mountain. That's how bad it is, and we won't see another mountain. We'll get on to the teams in just a moment, but no Lucas Hill in the Olympia side today, which is obviously a big blow with Alex Holmes already out. Going to be tough for them to hold off this South Hobart team who clicked into gear against Launceston City last week, and in a very even title race. 3 big points up for grabs today. It's South Hobart and Olympia. South Hobart have won the last 10 matches against the Warriors, would you believe? It's been a long time since Olympia took anything from them. You've got to go back to middle of 2015. It was a 1-1 draw. That was the 11th game. So that is how dominant South Hobart have been over Olympia, despite the fact both teams have been pretty successful over the past few years. And joining me to call the action here this afternoon and take a look at that title race right there. South Hobart looking to move within 3 and make it 4 teams within 3 points. Exciting stuff. And here to call all the action with me, Paul Hunt. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, calling. And yeah, that title race is really heating up. Looks even closer when you had goal difference in. There's only, whilst Devonport and City are tied, there's only 2 goals the difference there. And with Zebras 9-0 win yesterday, South Hobart made a pretty convincing win, probably 5 goals in order to leapfrog Zebras, and a win for Olympia, win for South Hobart here will make the gap between top 4 and the rest 10 points, and really adds quite the chasm in the Tasmanian NPL, but it's really tight up the top, which is what we like to see. We've always had, it's been a while since we've had a compelling race that goes down to the line here. South Hobart dominant in the first few early years. Olympia kept consistent in their title winning season, and then last year South Hobart storming from behind from well, they were about 3rd or 4th place, and then a storming win against Zebras really came home with a wet sail. So hopefully a nice tight contest all round. Yeah,
I think Olympia will certainly be looking to improve on last week. They'll look to build from the second half performance they put in, because they were really blown away by that Zebras team in the first half, and this is a South Hobart side with a potential to do likewise today. Tell you what, that red Toyota up on the hill there, Paul, the door open.
I'd
see inside there?
Yeah, I can. I'd wager that's not the red Ute that was talked about yesterday. I'd say that is a red Toyota Echo up there at the top with the prime viewing position, and I reckon that is Hobart Zebras coach on a heavy scouting mission up there in the top corner.
As we take a look at the Olympia side here today, Brett Johnson in goals, and the number 1. You've got Tommy Little, young defender, bit of a utility, has been used all across the defensive line, can play centre half or he can play in the middle, either fullback or centre half. You've got Joel Samet, who play down the left. He'll whip it up and down that flank. He'll keep running all day. Warren Wadawu, so important to this Olympia team these days, one of their main attacking outlets. Paul Stevens back into the side today, and that's a big in considering Holmes and Hill are out. They'll need Paul Stevens and his calming presence at the back. Eduardo Castaneda won't be sticking around for Tasmania too much longer, but he's out here today wearing the number 10, and he's probably going to have a bit of a point to prove, I'd have thought, today against the South Hobart team. He couldn't quite crack the starting line up there, so he's come across to Olympia for opportunities, and no doubt he'll be eager to prove himself today. The king of the Andals, Joffrey Nkoso, another one of what is a very youthful-looking Olympia lineup, especially when we get down to the bench. Jonathan Griffiths, you'd expect to see lining up at left back. Mark the Business Ortman will patrol the midfield, and Jake Vandermeer, the experienced centre half, has also played a little bit of fullback this year. So again, we'll see how they line up at the back, the Warriors. And not a whole lot of continuity there, which has been part of their problems. On the bench, Jackson Abini, Ben Curtis, Noah Smithy Sharples, Thomas Bellini and Angus Murford as an extremely young bench, and it does tell the story a little bit about this Olympia team, Paul.
Absolutely. As we were reeling off the names there, we saw the Mountain and Alex Holmes, I'm sure over 100 games of NPL experience there. Unfortunately not on the field, just throwing the balls back to the sideline there, so 2 big outs for Olympia and lack of continuity at the back. Vandermeer's played probably every position in the back line so far this season. Paul Stevens coming off his knee injury, gradually getting more game time, but wasn't there at the start. And up front, Gordy Gerson's really had to play a target man role for someone who's about 4 feet ringing wet. It's not the most ideal situation for them there, but he is a potent force, and I'd expect his pace to try and get in behind the defence of South Hobart. They're a good solid lineup, Olympia. There's nothing really wrong with them on paper as such. It's just getting continuity in the lineup and just about getting points on the ball, which they've struggled with a bit so far this season. And the youth on the bench, Abini, a couple of times I've been very impressed with him when I've seen him, and Smithy Sharples I think's got a bright future in defence, but we'll see from this South Hobart lineup in a minute, a bit more cutting edge.
There is, and I think Olympia heading into the season would have said, yep, our midfield 3 to have a tilt at the title is Jack Turner, Nick Mearns, Lucas Hill. Jack Turner's playing for their opponents here today. Nick Mearns has continued his real horror run of injuries, and Lucas Hill has been in and out as well and has had to be played at centre back, so it's not really gone to plan as far as the Warriors are concerned. Going to be tough for them today against South Hobart. Working on getting that lineup there for you. Hopefully have it for you in a second. No real surprises there, and there it is. Kieran Brown in net. Connor Schmidt, line up in midfield you'd expect. Adam Gorey apparently has cloned himself. He'll play right back. Oscar Thomas will line up in the middle of the defence. Luke Farrell probably left back, given he and Schmidt have swapped in recent times. Nick Morton and Jack Turner, they'll be in the middle of the park. 2 real goal scorers who've really done some damage, particularly to this Olympia team over the last couple of seasons. Isaac DeGhetto gets a start up top. Daniel Brown back into the lineup. You'd imagine he plays centre-half alongside Oscar Thomas, and the brilliant Brazilian Renato de Vecchi Marins, aka Nirvana, leading the line, and in some scintillating touch is the Brazilian. And after watching the Zebras really get in behind this Olympia team with the likes of Jaden Hay and Iski Van Dorn last week, I look at this South Hobart team with the likes of Alex Walter on the bench, new signing Anthony Legendre, and I think South Hobart have got the personnel to do the exact same thing here today, Paul.
Yeah, I certainly agree with that there. Another feature of South Hobart's team is when they've decided on their keeper. Kieran Brown's looked really good the last few weeks, especially that diving save of Tyler Fisher last week that's still ingrained in my mind a week later. That was a superb save, one of the best we'll see all season. And then their midfield 3 of Jack Turner, Nick Morton, and then Kobe Kemp, I think, is the one that we've cloned Adam Gorey for on the starting lineup. They're coming back from injury, and his impact last week really helped swing that match in South Hobart's favour. I do have South Hobart as slight favourites going into this game, especially since that record of 10 straight wins. That's really impressive. And when you can bring on Chef Ryan Cook, Alex Walter still coming back from injury, and we might see another substitute with a new import like we did with Devonport last night, Anthony Legendre, that I will continue to butcher for the rest of the season. It shall be a good one.
I need to work on your Quebec accent. I think you're not particularly gifted with that either, Paul, so we'll keep butchering it this afternoon. But a new fullback, he's a left-sided fullback, I'm told, as Ken Morton plans to use him. And we saw Devonport bolster their squad. South Hobart have done likewise as we head towards the final straight in the title race. De Vecchi Marins on the left-hand side of the box making some early inroads. And that one deflects behind for an early corner. They're going to need to curtail the influence of the Brazilian today. He's sunk a number of opponents' defences this season, and Olympia really struggled to deal with the movement of the Zebras last week in the final third. As the corner's taken short, Kobe Kemp blocked off by Castaneda. Kemp goes near post again. Back out to the Morthog. Beaten to it by the King of the Andals. He just works it off Morton for a throw-in. Well, it's howling out there.
Yeah, well, I was about to say, well, it looks like a nice day for the viewers at home. I'd love a wind vane on that end of the ground. It would be spinning around absolutely crazy down there. It is not the best day for football, despite being here on the sunny eastern shore, as that one looked up in the direction of Connor Schmidt to Turner to Morton. Wadawa nearly gets there. De Vecchi Marins with another great turn. Gets on the left peg, goes the chip. Oh, he's put it in, De Vecchi Marins! What a fantastic start for South Hobart. From absolutely nothing, he's chipped Brett Johnson and put that top corner.
Well, the wind not affecting Renato De Vecchi Marins. He's just chipped this one perfectly in the top window, cleans the spiders out of the corner. And what a start for South Hobart. Olympia, they've had some issues early in games this season, conceding goals. Well, that is extremely early. After just 90 seconds, South Hobart already have the lead. And given that track record against the South, the Warriors, a real cause for concern early, I reckon that. And they're going to need to bounce back immediately. Gordy Gerson, I don't think he's even touched the ball yet. He gets it now and sends it to Castaneda. Warren Wadawu Gerson trying to respond immediately, took off down the middle. Castaneda. Now Loic Farrell. Down to DeVecchi. Brazilian. Draws a crowd, surrounded immediately by 4 blue shirts. He wrangles his way free though. Sliding in with Dawu eventually brings his run to an end.
It's almost in slow motion, that goal from DeVecchi Marines. Just turned the defender, which I think Jonathan Griffiths on that side, and one stroke of the left foot has put South Hobart in front already. Probably slightly wind advantage, as we can see a bit better from this angle. The howling wind and a little bit of rain we've got there as Gorry knocks it out off an Olympia player for a throw, and not the start Olympia Warriors wanted here today.
Not at all, and the wind will definitely favour South in this first half as Schmidt drives! Oh, and start across the line! DeVecchi might put it in anyway, he does! He does, and South Hobart lead 2-0 inside of 3 minutes. What a start to this game. And Olympia will definitely favour South in this first half. A cracking hit from Schmidt. Oh, DeVecchi just nods home for a yard out. Schmidt would have had one of the goals of the season right there, but comes straight back down off the post. It matters not. And Olympia in a big hole already, Paul.
I thought Connor Schmidt there, I think, deserves the goal for that one. That was an absolute corker of a shot. And South Hobart 2-0 up after 3 minutes. Olympia, they're still in the sheds, quite frankly. They've really not come out here so far today. And Gordy Gerson gets his second touch, which is the second kickoff of the day. DeVecchi Marines doesn't quite keep that one under control. And the Brazilian marksman, he didn't obviously come into the first few games, but he has been on fire this season in the NPL. And it's good hold-up play by Olympia there, back out through defence, and we haven't even really talked about who's in Olympia's defence yet. You've got Vandermeer at centre-back, and who've been more accustomed to him at right-back, and Griffiths, and I think that's Samet on the far side. And I'm trying to say who their other centre-back is. It's
Tommy Little. It
is Tommy Little in the centre of defence. We've seen a whole lot of him in his career starting-wise anyway.
Yeah, Paul Stevens just sitting in front of the back four, but geez, they were cut through easily on those first 2 chances. South Hobart with 2 attacks for 2 goals. DeVecchi charging after this one too. Striding across, Tommy Little just whacks that one into the car park. But a real shell-shocked here at Warrior Park. The Olympia Warriors down 2 goals inside of 3 minutes. Just the start Ken Morton would have ordered, but Dale Hitchens, after said he was searching for a response this week after a slow start last week against the Zebras. Well, very much still in their slumber. DeVecchi Marines gets to the byline. Manufactures a cross. It's a dangerous one. Adam Gorry. And now Kobe Kemp. Blocked away. Nick Morton scrapping in there, and Altman clears the danger, but they're in real trouble early on here, Olympia. Looking very shaky at the back indeed. Here's Nkoso. One back by Farrell. It's split the way of Altman. Spreads it to Warren Wadawu. The postman slides it down to the overlapping Samet. Keeps it in and then swings in the cross. Gerson the target. Well, flapping out was Brown. That was unconvincing. It fell to Loic Farrell. DeVecchi. Now the Morthog. One back by Nkoso. Doing well, the king of the Andals, but eventually running out of real estate on the near touchline.
Turner finds Morton to DeVecchi Marines. Looks for the handball of Castaneda. Not given now with Darbo. Looks to find Gerson, but the giraffe, Oscar Thomas, should be able to cover that one cleanly enough. And at least Gerson's going to hopefully start getting some service to his feet today. I've seen 2 long balls that Dogger Brown have casually nodded on. I don't think he's going to win many aerial duels today. Here's the Gecko. Another duel that Olympia haven't won there as well. South Hobart get the throw on the far side. It's Gorry to Kobe Kemp. Now Turner. And he's got a fair few options here. A switch of play would be on here if Kieran Brown wants it. Like, Dogger Brown, Olympia really sitting off here, letting him have all the time in the world to stroke it around the back here. And at 2-0 up, why wouldn't you if you're South Hobart? Adam Gorry up to Isaac Inzaghetto. Vandermeer sneaks in, and with Dawu coughs it up cheaply to Oscar Thomas. Cute back heel there from Schmidt. Again, down the line to Gorry. It's certainly seeing on that side how the tight confines of Olympia's ground really have to get short, sharp passes in order to get some movement.
Especially with the wind as it is today. Not going to be a great day for knocking long aerial balls when You've got such little room for error on a ground like this. And they're going to need to just keep it along the deck if possible. Here's Gerson. Holds it up. Back to Wadawu. Samet. Ships it down the line. Straight out of play for a South Hobart throw-in. And Adam Gorry takes, gives it to Jack Turner. Going across was Van der May in defence, did it nicely. Oscar Thomas now. Coughed it up straight to Kobe Kemp. He spreads it wide, so good to see Kobe Kemp back out there. Couldn't find Connor Schmidt with the pass. Works it back in there, away by Tommy Little, not convincingly. Nick Morton trying to make something happen. Then they set it out in front of Gordy Gerson in a one-on-one with Dogger Brown. Gordy Gerson going to take him on here. He runs at the experienced centre half and he shapes the shoot just past the post from Gordy Gerson. Good incisive play cutting inside, but couldn't quite find the far corner with this effort.
That's the situation you want Gordy Gerson in. Running at the defence with the ball at his feet. His background in futsal and indoor soccer really is what he's known for, dribbling, running at defences and managing to pick out a particular part of the goal, and that's really what they have to do to try and get him on the score sheet. Even if you do play more defensively, usually it's the home team, it's the away team that'll sit off and defend, but you almost have to make South Hobart come to you so you can get that situation where you can run it. The defence of South Hobart, that probably should be Olympia's tactic, as Johnson knocks it forward. Again, the Giraffe against the Gecko. The Giraffe will usually win most aerial contests in that situation. Gorry down the line to DeGhetto. He's got Van der May for company, and the wind will take that one out for a goal kick. It probably would have held up in every other ground and conditions in the state. A few hardy souls braving the outside conditions here at Olympia. Well, President George Marcus of Olympia did a great job in helping construct this place. A great sheltered grandstand would have been nice. She's a bit crowded up here.
Yeah, everyone opting for the inside top deck here at Warrior Park today. Fair enough too.
There's no way you'd get me out there.
I know faithful would be overly happy with what they've seen thus far as Jack Turner lays it off, trying to combine with the Morthog. Altman's just coughed it straight up to Kobe Kemp there. Now the Giraffe, Oscar Thomas. To Dan Brown. And the Frenchman, Luke Farrell, down the line for DeVecchi. He's doing some good work here. Drifting in from the left-hand side. Throw will be taken by Griffiths. And Koso takes it down. Farrell gets in there, and Koso did really well to extricate himself from that. And works it over to Ortman. Ortman to Samet. Now Samet drifting forwards. Gerson wants it played centrally. He goes in that direction and just holds up in that breeze and allows Kieran Brown to claim confidently. Releases Morton. Morton wide to Darcy Street's favourite ringer, Adam Gorry. Jack Turner. Back to Gorry. Full of energy, striding forwards, and a foul there just brought him off balance. A free kick in a good position.
Yeah, it's the storming runs we like to see from Adam Gorry down the right wing. South Hobart's favourite ringer doing very well and getting forward there. And Olympia have looked good when they've switched the play. Samet and Wadawu overlapping on the left-hand side there. Once they get the ball out there, they do look threatening. It's just getting that option in the box, but we'll see what South Hobart can do from this set piece. It's Gorry to whip it near post, cleared initially. Morton falls to Schmidt. Adam Gorry's probably going to have take two at whipping it in. He does. Falls to DeVecchi Marines. Tries to get it to Morton. He's surrounded by a few Olympia players. Kemp jigs inside, hits it. Kobe Kemp takes a deflection, and it's another corner for South Hobart. We know Kobe Kemp can hit them from that range. It's the Morthog just trying to keep the ball inside the quadrant there.
Quite a battle today. He's really struggling with it too, Morton.
Needs to bring on the punter to hold it while he kicks it, I think. Adam Gorry should probably stick a finger on there, I think.
Yeah, I reckon adopt the NFL technique. Adam Gorry crossing to Ghetto. Flicks it back for Schmidt. That was blocked away. Eventually they will be able to, well, not really clear it. Got it about a metre away from the box. It's going to come back here as Kemp just lofts it up onto the head of Thomas, lets it drop and then volleys it to Ghetto chasing hard, but he's never going to get to that one. Isaac to Ghetto. Wind making life very difficult for the players out there at the moment, especially Olympia trying to clear the area. Certainly a big advantage going to this end in the first half, South Hobart.
I guess Olympia will just be hoping they can have the same advantage in the second half. It is a very, very heavy breeze going towards that end. We're seeing with the goal kick now with Brett Johnson. He's first time I've ever seen a moving goal kick taken in a while, but you can't really do much in these conditions. Headed out of play by South Hobart.
I do like your NFL suggestion.
Yeah.
Get the finger on top of the ball.
I think it'd be good if you could just bring a sub on, so just to hold it and then run off the field again. The Vecchi Marines absolutely crunched there from Jonathan Griffiths, and we'll see the first slice of cheddar for the day to Jonathan Griffiths, and on first impression, probably a deserved one.
Yeah, we'll have a look at the replay, but I'd be worried if I'm Jonathan Griffiths with DeVecchi running at me on a yellow 13 minutes into the game. He's showing some good signs early, the Brazilian, and he's back to his feet now. So we have a look at this one. Just rather get sandwiched, and yeah, not the greatest challenge, that one from Griffiths.
I mean, I don't think the ball was quite within a 5 metre radius of DeVecchi Marines when the challenge was made.
Pretty comfortable decision there for the referee to give him his dose of dairy for the day. As Nick Morton stands over the dead ball. And just chips it up to the back post and collected confidently by Brett Johnson. Releases Wadawu. Get round Adam Gorry though. Such an explosive start from this South Hobart side, jumping out to that 2-goal lead. Perhaps looking to chase down that goal difference of Zebras. Get themselves back above them on the table.
Yeah, it was. They need 5 goals and the victory to overtake Zebras in 3rd position on the table after this result. So they're nearly halfway there already as Vandermeer looks long towards the postman. Can't get past Gorry, calls for a handball. Nothing given. Vandermeer plays it all the way back to the keeper. It's Johnson. Lofting ball. She got a fair bit of distance on that, but Dogger Brown will beat the Gecko in the air. Morton tries to find Tenney, knocks it against Jonathan Griffiths. Now Paul Stevens tries to find Nkoso. Farrell cuts it out. Kemp a bit too strong on the through ball there for the Morthog. Seeing Jack Turner play a lot more advanced than normal. He's not really sitting in a number 6 or a number 8 role. He's almost up with Togetto as a striker today.
Yeah, it's been a slightly different role from him. Really, far more central than we're used to seeing him in an attacking sense. As Wadawu works it to Samet. Tries to get him behind Adam Gorry. No easy task. So Hobart temporarily down to 10 men with DeVecchi off the pitch. Still recovering from the effect of that knock he picked up, and he wanders his way back on now. As the man known as Nirvana.
You know what brought on that nickname?
Real Kurt Cobain type hair setup.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it salad related?
Very much so. As this one's worked forward. Wadawu. Oscar Thomas shows good anticipation, gets in there and smashes it away. Jake Vandermeer will hope this one will go all the way out, and pretty good result for South in the end. Good field position there, real rugby union type style.
Good kick for touch there. Don't have the 40-20 rule in effect here, but it's especially with this throw-in, it's going to swell back in the direction there, and Wadawu ends up knocking it out. So good result there for South Hobart. And hardly a Jogger Benito tactic here, but it's one I'd probably employ if I was a manager here today.
Especially with the win factor being as profound as it is, yeah. You can get the ball up that end of the pitch. It's not going to be the easiest task to play it out of there as to Ghetto. Tight to the line here. Get the throw in.
Just not a lot of energy in Olympia's setup today. I'm just watching him get back in defence. It's just a lot of standing around, really. If I was the manager, I'd want a bit more urgency out of my players. Connor Schmidt finds Kobe Kemp. Looks towards the back post. DeVecchi Marins will chest this one down. Size up another option. Manages to falter to get on. Now back to DeVecchi. It's Turner. It's the Frenchman looking back post, but over past Connor Schmidt there, and another promising opportunity for South Hobart. And it's really all one-way traffic here in the first 18 minutes.
Yeah, going to be tough to judge till both teams have played to this end, but geez, South are looking a much stronger side at the moment. Not overly surprising given the respective form lines of the two teams and South's dominance over Olympia over the past 3 years, but it has been a bit of a shellacking in the opening 20 minutes here. Adam Gorry, slight mistrap, fighting it out with Warren Wadzawu, who gets the free kick. No one really offering him a quick option. Gordy Gerson was the only player in advance of him, and he was surrounded by 6 red shirts. Going to be a pretty tough day for Gordy Gerson leading the line, I'd have thought, as Morton works it across to Jack Turner. Jack Turner sliding it through, trying to tee out Morton, sliding in at Griffiths, saving the day. DeVecchi in support. It's an attack of some promise.
Yeah, to make that challenge, Jonathan Griffiths, DeVecchi Marins and Nick Morton ready and waiting for a tap in there, and a quick corner taken to Gorry. Back to Morton, who's near post. Flick on, header, turn, shoot, and that's wide. And I think Isaac DeGhetto, there's real opportunity for him in this game. Pretty good snap, and Dogger Brown just goes right over the top of Whitey Castaneda. It's Morton back to Turner. Feral TV misplaces that one, but Dogger Brown, the captain, comes to the rescue. Gets one in the back from Stevens and obligingly goes down. There's Dogger.
Part of their fight back last week, Dogger Brown. One of the 3 substitutions that really helped turn the game, along with Kemp and Alex Walter. Walter once again on the bench today. Kobe Kemp back in the starting lineup. Could he be the ace in the hole in this title race? South Hobart just bringing him in. They've got the new signing on the bench today. With handy reinforcements for what is shaping as a massive final couple of months. 4 teams looking like they're going to be separated by just 3 points. Unprecedented in this league, but very exciting indeed as Stevens knocks it back. Away by Vandermeer into the bullseye. Gerson gives chase, but plenty of South Hobart bodies were back home. Jack Turner beaten in the air by Jake Vandermeer. Now Kobe Kemp. Kemp buffeted off it by Wadzawu. Checks back inside onto his preferred foot and then weaves back the other way, but didn't have the room on the touchline there. Nick Morton tried to work it to Turner. Gets a second chance. This time he does. Returns it straight to Morton. Now wide to Adam Gorry. Gorry crossing and clutching it. Here's Brett Johnson. Not troubled by that. Good quick release to Adawu. But again, the serves to Gerson doing him absolutely no favours at all. Very frustrating first 20 minutes for the Gecko.
Oh, complete sympathy for the Gecko, Gordy Gerson, though. Well, they did manage to spring an attack there from the throat. It was 1v5 in the end there against the Gecko, and he's not had a whole lot of service. And there's Ortman finding his feet, which is probably the first time in 20 minutes.
Maybe 110 minutes. Certainly didn't do it last week.
Brown knocks that to Connor Schmidt. Back heel, falls to Gorry. He's got DeGhetto down the line, and he's just about going to keep that in, I think. Isaac DeGhetto, 3 players steaming forward. He's got Morton, Turner, and DeVecchi. Goes back post. And over the head of the Brazilian DeVecchi Marins. Keeps it in play. Here's some fancy footwork on the wing. Back to Morton. Down the line, man. Just find DeVecchi. He's got a pocket of space. He gets on the right foot, and unfortunately can't quite get enough whip on that to complete his hat-trick. Not a phrase I'm used to saying after 21 minutes.
No, DeVecchi looming large though. 2 players in pretty close proximity, maybe doing just enough to force him to shoot just wide of the mark. DeVecchi Marins just cutting inside onto that right foot down here on the left. He's giving it the Warriors fits right now. Gerson. Shackled by Thomas. There was Brown lofting it forward. Altman. Just overhit the back pass slightly to Van der May. Retreats to Johnson. It's a touch and turns it to the experienced defender who's coughed it straight up to Connor Schmidt here. Schmidt and Kobe Kemp coming through. Combining with Morton. Morton back. Jack Turner driving. And he couldn't beat Johnson. Firing straight at him at the near post. Wasn't too far away. Olympia, their own worst enemy there at the back.
Yeah, I mean, Van der May, I guess you could lay it on for the misplaced pass, but he did not have a lot of options. No one really presenting short to him. Everyone on their heels, just waiting for the ball come to them, and Connor Schmidt had time to intercept and create a scoring opportunity for South Hobart. And here they go again. Kobe Kemp lays one out to Gorry, whose touch is just a little off, manages to keep it in. Nice dummy there, through, nearly finds on-running Schmidt. Great tackle from Tommy Little in the end. It's now Wadawu looking for Castaneda, but kept out by Kemp. Kemp to DeVecchi Marins, cops one after the Woods. DeVecchi Marins hits towards the byline, still going DeVecchi Marins, but forced out for a corner by the business. And just on Olympia there, I haven't seen Whitey Castaneda really touch the ball too much in this game. He's moved from a number 8 role to a number 10, and he haven't been able to get him on the ball. Tommy Little with a saving challenge there. Morton near post, kept out initially, and I think that's going to roll out for another goal kick. It is. So all the South Hobart's players going towards the near post and couldn't quite get it to go over the back. Dogger Brown striding forward, wanting to get his name on the score sheet. Making inspiration from Harry Maguire overnight, probably. And there he is with a touch on the ball. Goes over the business to Morton, to Kemp. And it's Kobe Kemp charging into the box, and a great sliding challenge in the end again from Tommy Little. They're under absolute cosh here, Olympia.
Yeah, they really are. They're dialing up the pressure right now, South Hobart. What they say, yeah, you don't appreciate what you don't have till you miss it. God, I've missed Kobe Kemp playing football. Of a weekend watching him play. He's made a big difference to this south side already. Gets his foot on the ball. Dictates, orchestrates from the midfield. Just always hits his teammates' feet. Very silky player to watch. Already influencing this contest. He leaves this one for Luke Farrell. Worked to Jack Turner. Turner spreads it wide for the cross from the Frenchman, who swings it in. Johnson claws away. Connor Schmidt at the top of the box. Volleys it out there to Adam Gorry. Ricocheted off him, then he tracks it down, but a heavy touch there from Adam Gorry. Releases the pressure valve. Olympia try and turn the counter-attack on immediately, but Wadawu with a sloppy touch. Slightly scrappy right here at the moment. Warrior Park. And I don't think you can blame the conditions on those last couple of errors. Just, taking the eye off the ball, I think, is Connor Schmidt. Back to the Giraffe. Tonga Brown. Experience at the back for South Hobart. More of that in Luke Farrell. The Frenchman who gives it straight to Castaneda. And Koso trot on the ball. It's all become somewhat disjointed here the last couple of minutes. Plenty of errors flowing right now.
Yeah, struggling to get 4 to 5 passes strung together, both teams here, and it's not through lack of trying, it's more lack of execution. They certainly haven't gone the aerial route, which you probably wouldn't do in today's conditions. Now Mordhog gets on the edge there and fires it over the top from the Mordhog. Can't blame him for having a shot from that kind of range. He's got a lethal right peg, does the Mordhog. Wish we had capability for possession stats here at Slice of Cheese. I reckon it'd be about 80-20 South Hobart, I'd say. It's an all one-way traffic here, and Wadawu flicks that one on to absolutely nobody in particular. Right into the training net. And it's Isaac Indighetto battling with Wadawu. Now Kobe Kemp. Just the composure on the ball, and as soon as I say that, he coughs it up. It's Wadawu. Finds the feet of Gerson. And he's immediately surrounded by the giraffe Oscar Thomas. Wadawu flicking the header on. Schmidt. Out to Gorry. Lays out a delightful long ball in direction of Jack Turner. Chests it down, but he's offside. Great first touch there from Jack Turner to pluck that out of the air and the wind. And it made the run a little bit too early.
Yeah, not too far away. Just on the possession numbers, the roughest estimates that we can get from providers of said stats have it at 68-32 in South Hobart's favour, but I don't know how accurate those numbers are, to be completely honest. As Wadawu almost picked out the run of Nkoso, but like Farrell alert to the danger, and now he'll send them back the other way. Releases Adam Gorry down the right. Adam Gorry puts his foot on it, then slides it through for the run of Jack Turner. Just a bit too far out in front of him, but they'll still get the corner. Cleared away there from Turner by Thomas Little. Adam Gorry strides across to approach the half-hour mark. South Hobart jumping out in this one, taking a 2-goal lead inside of 3 minutes with the first 2 attacks of the game. The game been completely on their terms ever since, as Adam Gorry swings this one in the Oscar Thomas direction. Dogger Brown somehow got his head to it in the end. The wind carried it back. Connor Schmidt now driving. That one's blocked away. Might fall back for Jack Turner. Castaneda did very well to rob him of the ball in the end and puts it out in front of his winger. Koso just drives at Luke Farrell and wins the throw in.
Gordy Gerson screaming for the ball in the middle, unhappy. Pity if the ball was played to him. It was about 4 yards offside, so not complaining too much there from the Gecko. And it's good to see King of the Andals, Joffrey Nkoso, get on the ball a little more. Vicky Marin's helping out in defence there. Connor Schmidt with the high clearance. Vandermeer very composed header towards Samet. Giraffe Oscar Thomas intercepts. Knocks it out of play. Quick throw in. Gorry intercepts that one off Wadawu and keeps charging forward. Does Gorry. Jack Turner just letting the wind roll that one and rolls the defender very nicely. But Vicky Marins is offside.
Love the strength of Jack Turner there. He was just bullying Tommy Little, using his frame, just backing off, holding off the attentions of Tommy Little, and turned and played a clever little ball. And I just wonder if Griffiths maybe got a foot on that through ball actually on a replay, but offside flag denying DeVecchi as this one's sent wide for Joel Salmon. Couldn't control it. Gorry chips it back in towards the Ghetto. Vandermeer pressuring him. Connor Schmidt now out of the reach of Nick Morton. He stretches, and I think he felt that one. Did you buy the reaction? He's all right though. Half an hour gone. 2-0 South Hobart here as they look to just make that log jam at the top of the table even more tight than it is right now.
Yeah, with Devonport jumping to the top of the table. First time Lonnie City haven't been up there for about 10 rounds. Making the contest, really doing Zebras and South Hobart a favour with that win, making it a log jam at the top. It'll just be interesting how Devonport go with their FFA Cup run in the back of their mind as well, whether they can hold on to that position as the throw-in comes into Turner. Now Schmidt chips a very high ball, which Johnson comfortably claims despite the wind. And going the quick throw to Castaneda, who turns and passes to Wadawu. Wadawu just immediately crowded out by the giraffe Oscar Thomas. Castaneda wanted an option short there and didn't really have any. And it's Morton and Turner combining, as they often do. That's Wadi Castaneda. To Nkoso, knocks it past the Frenchman Luke Farrell, but Kobe Kemp almost did a canter, just hops across there and knocks it out for a throw.
It's an interesting point you raised about Devonport's FFA Cup game. It comes smack bang in the middle of a couple of big games. I think it was South Hobart and Lonnie City or something like that. It was in between two of the real big guns, or South Hobart and Zebras. Something to that effect anyway. They're going to have 3 games in the space of 8 days that will really, really test them. We saw South Hobart come unstuck in that season. Of course, the last time Olympia beat South Hobart was in that year, but late in the season, South Hobart beat them. Looked like they had wrapped up the title, played in the FFA Cup, came back a little bit laggy and lost to Rangers and promptly handed Olympia back the title. So it can be a factor, but then 2016 Devonport showed no ill effects and just kept storming on despite 2 very tiring FFA Cup games. As this one swung in, too much purchase on that. Didn't really need to do that there, Jack Turner. Lack of awareness of what was going on behind him, perhaps.
Needed a shout from the keeper there, Jack Turner. It's probably, I'd put that one on the keeper there. Had full view of that and could see no one within a bull's roar of Jack Turner. Definitely came off his head.
He does look at the keeper as if to say, where was the shout? So very, very good spot there.
Olympia's first corner of the game here. And not going to be taken immediately. It's Paul Stevens jogging off. I would assume that's a blood rule. Seems very casual about it all. Dawu now with one less option in the box to aim for. Goes in the Vandermeer direction, who nearly gets there, and Kieran Brown doesn't make complete contact towards it. And howls against the referee's decision there from Gerson and Vandermeer. And I did think Kieran Brown got a touch to that live, but I wouldn't mind seeing a replay. The Giraffe picks it up out wide. In no particular hurry to play it. Gerson now having to do a lot of hard running. Puts Dogger Brown under pressure, but that's a lovely ball in the direction of Jack Turner. Hits it first time, good save from Johnson on the follow-up. DeGhetto has made it 3-0 to South Hobart. That's why you always follow up the shots. And Isaac DeGhetto puts this one to bed after 33 minutes.
Clinical counter-attacking football. There's a good initial save from Johnson. DeGhetto buttering up. He strokes home and it's 3-0 now after 33 minutes. Half an hour since their last goal, in fact. After the bright start that they produced. But look, South Hobart just absolutely flying now. 3-0 over the Olympia Warriors. And it is looking pretty glum indeed for this Olympia side, who were beaten quite handily last week by the Zebras. And now staring down the barrel of another big defeat.
It's almost like watching the same game 2 weeks in a row, this one. It's just been all one-way traffic against Olympia, and 3-0 down within the first half. But let's see what they can do here. It's Stevens who's back on the pitch. Gordy Gerson now finally getting a chance to turn and run at Dogger Brown, who does send him wide. The Gecko now has got 4 South Hobart players around him. Becky Marins looking to get past Stevens, but runs out of real estate on the tight Warrior Park pitch. Castaneda wanted that to his feet, rolls Schmidt nicely. Finds the feet of Wadawu. Gerson beaten out to it by Dogger Brown. It's Morton playing a delightful 1-2 with Kobe Kemp. I think he's very happy to have him back into the centre of the park, Nick Morton. Gorry down the line towards Turner. That's out for a throw-in. Just the way South Hobart seem to roll from one end to the other with Kobe Kemp in the lineup. And it's a real feature of their play when they're on song. And Gorry having to do some of his own ball retrieval there.
If he opts for the long throw, or perhaps DeGhetto is offering short with the option. Schmidt back to Gorry. Kobe Kemp back out to Adam Gorry. Closed down by Wadawu. Tight confines here, South Hobart operating, and Olympia win the ball back. Altman, poor clearance straight into Kobe Kemp, who really makes him sweat it out. Altman should recover the situation, but then turns it over again, straight to Connor Schmidt. Connor Schmidt, shot blocked again. To Becky Marins, couldn't find DeGhetto, and no one out there wide on the right. They're barely holding on here, the Warriors. South knocking on the door for a fourth. And Schmidt seemed to have an eternity in the box there. Coming across, Sampa did all right, and then fired his shot straight at Jake Vandermeer. So Dawu lofts it over or into Gorry. Straight into the schnoz there, I think. Now Samet throws to Wadawu. Wadawu chipping it forward. Gerson trying to work Dogger Brown over and just got into the back a little bit of Brown, who is about taking it quickly. Instead, we'll just tap it off to Oscar Thomas. Now it's the Mortog Morton. He looks up, slides it to Turner. Turner surrounded by Warriors. Spins it out to the left. South Hobart building promisingly. Morton trying to make Tommy Little sweat it, but knew he was never going to get there and just gave him the little push in the back. Which is signs for I've given up getting this ball.
Yeah, you still have to make the defender know you're there when you're an attacker, but Tommy Little used his body on the wind expertly there as Johnson goes a low driving ball. Flick on header from Castaneda. Oscar Thomas I'm assuming had the sun in his eyes there rather than hailing a cab with that hand movement. Vandermeer is going to let that one roll out for a goal kick. And Johnson will get another chance to find a teammate. And they've really struggled getting out of their defensive half. Have the Warriors been able to get it to halfway, and then as soon as it hits there, it just seems to fall apart. And Gorry will let that one run out for a throw-in as well. Really struggling to find feet here today, the Warriors. We'll see if they can turn it around in the second half. It didn't last week against the Zebras. It did the week before, or a couple of weeks ago, against Clarence. Really put them to the sword in the second half. Morton down the line to Loic Farrell. Man, that's intercepted from Kobe Kemp. Tommy Little ends up conceding that one, and I think he's put that on the A3.
Yeah, he's slightly off target with that one.
Trying to send that one to the airport, I think, Tommy Little.
When in doubt, I guess, as South Hobart will take the throw in through Loic Farrell, the Frenchman. De Vecchi Marines back to the Morthog. Now Connor Schmidt, who's been impressive again. Really starring in this midfield role, even with the return of Kobe Kemp in there. They've kept Schmitty in that midfield role, and it's one you're not going to move him from, really. He's just been so impactful over the past couple of months in there. With Legendre now coming in, potential to play at left back. I don't think we'll be seeing him back at full back any time soon, as De Vecchi stops it and slides it to Kobe Kemp in a bit of space. Kobe Kemp smashes it over the bar. That one was swerving and not too far away, as he thought about, welcome back the starting lineup gift.
Needed to use the Jabulani bowl there, Kobe Kemp. It would have just dipped nicely in the bottom corner there had they had that in effect, but rising high as always was the bowl there. And yeah, it's a real statement of how well Connor Schmidt has played in centre mid, that you get an import to play at left back. His position over the past few seasons has been at full back, but he's found a home in sort of a number 6 role in the centre of the park. Look, Farrell hasn't really done particularly badly at left back by any stretch, but I don't think it's a natural position for him, as Wadawu goes against Gorry, manages to win the throw. If you had the same attack down the left-hand side as you do down the right that Gorry presents for South Hobart, they're going to be tough to beat in this run home. Turner really is playing as a target man here today. He's robbed of the ball. It's Samet down the left-hand side.
I reckon he fell on that before it crossed the line there, Joel Samet. That's what the linesman's signalling, and the referee changes his decision. Good work by the AR there. I don't think that had crossed, and he, somewhat unfortunately for him, just fell right on top of it as Gorry goes back to the Giraffe. Oscar Thomas. Now Kobe Kemp. Back to Brown. Sun beaming down on Warrior Park, but hardly ideal conditions for football. Morton to Schmidt. Trying to return it to Morton. Instead worked it to Loic Farrell, who wins the throw-in. They work their way down the line here. De Vecchi Marines is very impressive, making inroads down this left-hand side. That's the other thing. That slight shift in personnel. Turner seemingly leading the lines. Seen Mercurial Brazilian running at fullbacks a little more often. Brief stoppage here while we get the secondary ball.
That one fell underneath the net, I think, there on the corner. So another one lost for the day, just about. Olympia trying to hurry it up. South Hobart obviously in no hurry to take the throw in. Why would you be, as that goes to the Vecchi Marines. Good touch from Castaneda. Koso couldn't quite get there, but a foul called by the referee. Paul Stevens plays it short. I'm not sure of the theory behind that, as it has caused some pressure, but they get it out nicely, Olympia. Wadawu is ahead for Samet to aim for. Hits it long. Manages to find him. He's got Gerson in the box. 1v1 against Thomas. Hits the byline. Still going, which, oh my God, how on earth has he got that in? Warren Wadawu with a piece of absolute brilliance. From out of nothing, Olympia have managed to pull one back.
He's just taken it along the byline here and somehow squeezed it in near stick on young Kieran Brown, who I don't think was expecting the shot. Wonderful work from Warren Wadawu here. He goes down and, well, Brown seemingly had his angles covered and he's just snuck it in behind him. He's clearly not taking up the correct position there. And somehow he's managed to sneak that one through the postman. Well, that really is some Royal Air Mail type delivery right there. Wonderful stuff from Wadawu to give his side a glimmer of hope in this game and pull it back to 3-1. With the wind at their backs in the second half, I guess they've got to tell themselves that, you know, we're not out of this one now. It's a glimmer.
I'm convinced Kieran Brown enacted some form of invisibility cloak then, because I've still got no idea how that snuck into the near post. As we have another opportunity for South Hobart to get it back immediately. Morton robbed of it by Castaneda. Dogger Brown gets under that one a little bit more, and Castaneda will use the spin to his advantage. He's a classy young player, is Waddy Castaneda. Dogger Brown showing all the composure in the world there, but Nkoso robs him of it, and Olympia playing with a bit of fire in their belly for the first time here, as Nkoso doesn't do a whole lot with that opportunity, and wouldn't it be great to have seen this sense of urgency from Olympia in the first 40 minutes?
Yeah, seemed to have been sparked somewhat by Warren Wadawu. It is a goal that would lift you as a team. Still an enormous task lying ahead of them to pull back another 2 goals, and perhaps even more enormous trying to stop South Hobart further adding to their score on this one. But it does give them a little something heading into the second half to hang their hats on. They've put in a pretty good second half performance last week, so I'm sure that'll be the message at half time. I think South Hobart will be overly concerned, but again, I don't think Ken Morton will be thrilled with the switch off at the back, but sometimes individual moments of genius like that you just can't do too much about, as somehow he snuck that in. Adam Gorry heads it back centrally. Castaneda spinning onto the ball. Lovely stuff there. Now out to Griffiths. Nkoso. Well, that's an effective move, and he's still going, Joffrey Nkoso. The business Altman overhits the switching ball for Samet. He just hasn't quite been as crisp with his passing today, the business, as perhaps we've become accustomed to with him. Just a few times he's slightly off, as the goal scorer with Dawu toes it forward. Oscar Thomas. Dogger Brown. Brown to Luke Farrell. Tried to swing it in the Turner direction, but Paul Stevens just occupying that defensive midfield role in front of the back four, shutting that one down. And Koso now taking it past one, but there was Dogger Brown to pretty emphatically clear the ball, it has to be said.
And a couple of people up here, I think, fending for their lives at the far end inside.
Yeah, we'll quickly learn if it's a bulletproof or ball-proof glass at the very least, if there's a slight more dip on it. So he hit it pretty very firmly. Joel Samet. Pull pass from Samet straight to Kobe Kemp. Deflects into the path of Morton, but Tommy Little showed good awareness. Here's Castaneda. Spinning again, but the tricky Brazilian was there. Deveki Marines. He sends it across to Adam Gorry. Gorry to Schmidt. Back to Thomas. South content just to knock the ball around here and perhaps see the game through to half time. Nick Morton. Kobe Kemp. Isaac Taketo has just completely stuffed that one up. Interesting technique there from Indigetto. And losing his footing was Castaneda. A bit slippery in the middle of Warrior Park, we're just learning.
I think with that happening twice in succession, we'll blame the pitch for both of them, as Turner now turns and finds Deveki Marines. Morton on this left-hand side. He'll knock it to Turner, who tries the return ball, but well cut out by Tommy Little. He's kept it in play and then knocks it off Turner. Doesn't go out of play though, so Deveki Marines sizes up Stevens. Eventually falls in the middle to Schmidt, who's got Gorry and a good amount of space on the far side. Schmidt can't quite chase that one down, and Wadawu launches one long, wanting the Gecko to get underneath it, but Dogger Brown collects nicely and, unlike last time, decides to clear the ball right to the match manager.
Centre backs won't want to leave that much space between them in the second half when the ball's not going to hold up in the breeze there. So this one's chipped in the Gerson direction. Luke Farrell gets a foot in. Nick Morton away. Real drive a truck through the gap between Brown and Thomas there. It matters not though. At half time, it's South Hobart holding sway 3-1. Pretty emphatic first half. Some real wizardry from Warren Wadawu just prior to half time has given the Warriors a hope and a prayer heading into the second half. Before that, it was all one-way traffic. South Hobart racing to a 2-goal lead inside of 3 minutes and then adding to it just after the half-hour mark. We have a look at the goals. Simply sublime. Little chipped effort there from Deveki Marins to open the scoring with the first attacking thrust of the match. It was a scintillating start. What a finish it was. And then Connor Schmidt rattles a crossbar with what would have been one of the goals of the season and leaves a little nod home for the Brazilian second. That was 2-0. At that stage, we were thinking it could be a cricket score, Paul.
We absolutely could, and then the third did take half an hour to get to on a blistering counter-attack. Turner forced a good save out of Johnson, and then Togetto knocks that one home, and again, we were thinking well, it was going to end up a bit of a cricket score, and then Warren Wadawu, with a piece of individual brilliance, beats Oscar Thomas, and then at the near post, Kieran Brown seemed to have the angles covered, but alas, he did not, and the postman puts one in. Ironically, Postman's also the only one yet to go into the sheds. Just had a nice 3-minute conversation with the referee there while we're going through the highlights. But we'll leave you with that scoreline. 3-1 Hobart to South Hobart at half-time, and we'll see you in about 10 minutes.
annoying, this I feel horrible, I hate it. You know,
full out there.
Not anymore. And we are back for the second half at Warrior Park. The weather is now looking on your screens, pretty much how it's felt for everyone at the venue today. The wind, the cold and the rain now really coming through clear.
If we could look at the South Hobart team, it looks like they're doing a warm-up for a Year 8 PE class out there. They're high toes, Devecchi Marines with some arms.
It reminds me more of the Big Bash, when they go out and you got the little kids on the fielding circle doing the dances, but the players come out and give them the hats. That
Tell you
type of
what,
thing.
I wouldn't mind some of those big heat flames you get at a Big Bash game here today, I'll tell you.
The wind has certainly got up. It has got colder. It's got
Isaac-
rainier. Isaac to
I-
get up.
I-
He's got hypothermia and run away. False start. Unlucky. Isaac, get back on side.
Isaac with the false start there. Looks like he's ready for a 100-metre sprint, and he's off.
And Kobe Kemp will swing it out to Devecchi Marins, who brings it down with a silky touch. Tommy Little seems to have shifted to right back. Stevens into the middle of the defence. So an immediate shift there as Nick Morton just plays it off Vandermeer for the corner. See if they in any rush to take this one. Thomas and Brown charge forwards the centre halves for South. Nick Morton to take. To Ghetto in plenty of space at the near post. He goes that way. To Ghetto. It's gone over the line. Dangerous ball, but marking just a little bit slack there from the Warriors.
Again, not quite set up for that early corner, but we'll see. Paul Stevens now pick up the ball. Looks like he's moved to centre back. It's Griffiths not able to find the giraffe. Oscar Thomas. Now Schmidt. Assuming there's someone down there. It is South Hobart's favourite ranger, Adam Gorry. Connor Schmidt now. Manages to find Morton in a pocket of space. He's got 4 blue shirts around him, but finds Devecchi Marins with a good pass. Falls backwards is the Brazilian. Kobe Kemp with a chip through ball, but Turner probably offside. Let that one run through. Johnson looking for his compatriot Gerson. Devecchi Marins, Morton. Luke Farrell playing some nice football there. Turner holding it up well. Devecchi Marins has got Gorry in an acre of space on the grandstand side. Ends up back towards Oscar Thomas. Getting no real rush is the giraffe. I'll switch it out through Kemp and Brown. Just on Olympia. It does look like Paul Stevens has moved to centre back. And it's Turner holding it up. Madawu to Castaneda, who tries to get around the Morthog. It's out for a throw-in. I'm still just trying to look at what other change Olympia potentially has made.
It's purely just shifting bodies around the park. They made a substitution. Stevens moved into defence, Little out of fullback, and we've got Joel Samet playing higher up the field now. Looks like he's probably going to line up in the midfield as De Ghetto volleys it straight out of play. Might need to give that lens a clean air in a second. The rain really wreaking havoc at Warrior Park just at the moment. Awful conditions for football, but South Hobart with a comfortable lead. As Oscar Thomas looked like he was trying to lift Gordon Gerson up into the air there. And that'll be a free kick.
One of the more obvious free kicks that we've seen. I'd love to give giving the camera a bit of a clean here. There's not a lot going on, to be fair, so it's a good time to do it. Still over the free kick is Wadawu.
It'll be a constant battle, I think. It is pretty awful out there. So it's going to be swung to the back post. Dogger Brown heads it down. It falls for Joel Samet, who fashions a shot over the top and not far away. The Warriors, thanks to Warren Wadawu's wizardry just prior to half time, they're still a sniff in this game. If they can strike first in the second half, we've got the wind at their backs. It would take a pretty significant change from what we saw in the first 45, which was South Hobart firmly on top. But we saw yesterday up at Buckby Rover Park, Launceston City absolutely dominant in the first 45, and then second 45 it was Devonport who ran all over them. So games certainly can change, and there was no real wind factor at play last night. As shielding this one's Jack Turner, showing good strength, the former Warrior. And Luke Farrell puts it out in front of De Ghetto. Isaac De Ghetto couldn't take it past Johnson, who did well. The American keeper gets down to deny him. Griffiths Carries out to Wadawu. Kobe Kemp across to whip it away.
Kobe Kemp just manages to glide across the pitch. If what I've noticed, his running just seems effortless. It doesn't look like he's actually going particularly fast. When he is, he's actually at a full sprint. As Wadawu looks over that one and knocks that one right down the throat of Dogger Brown. He'll get it back again, Wadawu, and gets a better pass this time towards Samet. Gerson getting on it, knocking it out to the tricky Joffrey and Koso. He's got Luke Farrell one-on-one and goes towards the byline, knocks that one through. It's a dangerous ball, had a good amount of pace on it, but just too far in front of his attacking compatriots.
He put a nice move on Luke Farrell there, did Joffrey and Koso to buy the space and fizzed it across the face of goal. Not too far away, no one gambling and making that run for it. He's shown some good signs. Here's Gordy Gerson turning at the top of the box. Squares it to the business Ortman. He gives it across to Tommy Little, now playing it right back. Turning. Now, still keeping a hold of the ball, under attention from DeVecchi. Actually out of play with a rather sloppy pass.
Looks like they're going to employ a long throw. Oh, it's a free kick. I thought they were going to go long throw then. I saw Vandermeer stride forward and thinking, what have they got planned here?
They got some Castaneda delivery planned by the looks of it. Whitey Castaneda, the former South Hobart midfielder, swings it in the Vandermeer direction, mate. Good purchase on the header, but no direction whatsoever. Well wide. Better signs in this half thus far from Olympia, you'd have to say.
Yeah, a bit more energy, just in terms of passing the ball with a bit more quickness and chasing down like we've just seen there. It's in Koso to Castaneda. Knocks a nice through ball, but well intercepted by the long legs of the giraffe. It's Castaneda. And Koso. Jack Turner for company. Now to Vecchi Marines. Lovely ball to Kemp. Ghetto's streaming through the middle. Gorry out wide. And if they can switch the play here, they'll have even more space. Connor Smith just treads on the ball and Samet robs him of it. Nice through ball to Gerson. He continues his run, Samet. It's Gerson. Tries to pick him out and just overrun it slightly. Knocks it back into the centre and Dawu charges that one down and knocks the fourth ball onto the highway.
Yep, we're going to be running out of footballs at this venue soon, I'd have thought. But this is better from Olympia. Asking a few questions at the back. Joel Samet now in attack and combining there with Gordy Gerson. Couldn't quite pick him out, but much better than we saw in the first 45. The signs from the Warriors and South. They started this half thinking job done. Perhaps not just yet. Long ball over the top for DeVecchi. Paul Stevens steers it away. Tommy Little. Now in Koso. Treats back to Ren Johnson. Now Jono Griffiths. Dawu combining well with Castaneda. Just too far in front of the postman there though. Corey hits Kemp.
Have liked all the touches Whitey Castaneda has made. He's very good at those short, quick passes and ball passes and 1-2s. If he is on his way out of the NPL, I'll certainly miss watching him play.
Joel Samet runs into Luke Farrell. Brown just shanks that one straight out of play. Real direction on that. Here's Joel Samet. Straight into the back of him there, Kobe Kemp. Suddenly we're seeing the things that dogged Olympia's first half, just creeping into South Hobart's play a little bit. Struggling to win. Here's Gordon Gerson, who made a really intelligent run. Just couldn't quite pick him out. So he might get a little more supply now too. Ball spending a bit more time up this end of the ground. Dogger Brown. That's going to have to go back, I think.
I think he's saying it's a rolling goal kick, which probably got to use a tad of common sense and let that go today. It's barely dropped below about 40k an hour winds here.
Yeah, it's been pretty tough. Certainly the corners have been a battle with this particular far corner. Long ball for DeVecchi. Tommy Little uses every inch of his height to nod it away from him. Luke Farrell and Jack Turner. Turner back to Luke Farrell, the Frenchman, driving inside. Now the cross comes in from Turner. Kobe Kemp couldn't direct it goalward. Well done there by Griffiths. His body in the way. Gerson works hard, but Thomas first to the ball. Back to Dogger Brown. Kobe Kemp. Past Altman. Kemp back to Thomas. Brown really sets a task for Jack Turner there.
It's always going to be a hard one in the win. That's looking quickly. Stevens. And to Griffiths. Finds Gerson. Morton to Gorry. Jack Turner coming short. Keeping possession well here, South Hobart. Looking to turn the screw through Gorry. It's Nick Morton now to Adam Gorry. Patient build up here from South Hobart, and then Adam Gorry ends up just falling over, leading Marty Castaneda to launch a counter attack. It's Gerson looking to play the 1-2. Samet was continuing the run, but not a lot happening there. There's the Morthog in a pretty unfamiliar position at right back. This one to Turner. Business again just overhitting that pass, and Luke Farrell coolly takes that one out for a throw. Foraging in the training nets behind the camera there. South Hobart just trying to get their foot back on the ball here. It's been primarily Olympia in the first 10 minutes.
The Warriors have been much better in the second half thus far. Cody Kemp, an impressive return to the starting lineup for him. He's not going to have any luck trying to get this throw in though, and Tommy Little manoeuvres around him to get it and sends it in the Nkoso direction. Knotted down by Farrell to Devecki. Off comes Nirvana. Goes back to Dogger Brown. Kobe Kemp. Close attention from Altman, who wins it back for Olympia. Vandermeer to Brett Johnson. And Griffiths. Knees it forward. It worked. Got it to Wadawu. Surrounded by South Hobart players though, and he's first forced further back. South Hobart try and claim the throw, but no luck there. Griffiths will take for the Warriors. They've given it straight to DeGhetto though. DeGhetto fouled by Griffiths. And this is probably an area where Kobe Kemp can knock it into the box.
Not a great throw in there from Griffiths on the grandstand side. Kobe Kemp will wait for the tall timber to stride forward. Hopefully try and catch this one in the breeze. And Kemp now lofts it towards Dogger Brown. Connor Schmidt on the edge of the box with an Ibrahimovic style flick. Gorry and Griffiths battling for it. Eventually cleared. It's Luke Farrell. And Nick Morton furthest in defence for South Hobart. Not something we're used to seeing. Kobe Kemp retreated about 60 yards from where he took the free kick. I think Kieran Brown's let that one roll out for a goal kick. I nearly thought he accidentally trod on it and conceded an unnecessary corner there.
To be against the young keeper. He plays it short to the Giraffe. Oscar Thomas ponders which way to go and opts to give to Kobe Kemp, which is never a bad option, and he drives a long ball trying to spring to Ghetto in behind. Broken up by Stevens, now with Dawu. Volleyed by Brown straight into the path of Joffrey and Koso, who goes around Brown, who fouled him, but the advantage allowed to continue here. Joffrey and Koso going well here, cuts it back for Gerson, who skies an effort from close range. He surely had to score. Gordy Gerson can't keep his shot down, and a big chance goes begging for the Warriors.
Lovely move from Joffrey and Koso, and Gerson made the right run, had the angle, and just really leant back on that one. He had a lot of the goals the aim for did the Gecko, and he skies that one. He's been waiting for a chance like that all day, has Gerson. Stevens to Altman. They'll be hoping to create more like that. And Joffrey and Koso, one of the likely outlets. Not with passes like that, he won't be, though. It's right down the throat of Kieran Brown.
Cause for optimism here, though, for Olympia. They get that, it's back to 3-2, and they're starting to create a little bit. They've created more in these 15 minutes than they did the entirety of the first half. Connor Schmidt trying to force the issue. They've lost it again, and Olympia just starting to see a bit more time in possession. Wadawa and Castaneda combining here. Returns it for Castaneda, who swings it in, but just overhits that, and that's over the fence. That's miles away from where he's trying to put it.
In terms of niche references, I'll whip out an early Central Coast Mariners one. That's a Wayne O'Sullivan cross, that one is what they used to be called in the early A-League days.
Yeah, you've done me there.
It's, yeah, many crosses ending up in Brisbane Water of Gosford in the early Mariners seasons from that particular right back. It was Wonga Brown.
Clearly left an impression with you.
Oh, still. Him and Matthew Osmond, the two worst crosses of a ball I think I've ever seen at professional level. Good players, good blokes, good coaches, but crossing left a lot to be desired. That's a lovely run from Joel Sammet, who's really opened up since he's moved from right back to attacking mid. Wadawu getting that one under control. And throw in towards Olympia. And towards Sammet. He's really playing like a live wire up there as Joel Sammet. I think the referee's called that back for a free kick, no advantage paid. Potentially he just wanted to give a shake in the magic spray to keep his arms warm, the referee there.
Yeah, potentially. It's a good position for a set piece, this. South Hobart on the back foot a little just for now. They've got the 2-goal buffer, but some improved Warriors coming at them. Of course, their first meeting this year was a reversal. It was 2-1 win to South Hobart. Olympia 1-0 ahead late on and had been the better team for the bulk of the day before throwing it away late. So they know they can go toe-to-toe with the South Hobart side, even if they have got a few players absent who are in the lineup that day. So it's a Wadi Castaneda free kick. It's deflected behind for a corner. Another chance to test the South Hobart back line. Under a bit of pressure.
Interesting, he went for the low cross there, Castaneda. There was a big gap in the top corner. A little curling free kick over the wall might have been a good option, and Wadawu scored one of them from a pretty tight angle a few weeks back here at Warrior Park. And we'll see what the postman can deliver from the corner. He goes very long and very out, does the postman. That's a mail that's not gone to the correct address, that one.
You're living at 22, that's gone to 32 from Wadawu there. But it's been a problem for Olympia. Whilst they are starting to get back in the game, they're wasting a few opportunities to pose some questions just by overhitting balls into the box. It's a tough day for goalkeepers. If you can put a cross in there, I've seen Kieran Brown a little unconvincing a couple of times when the aerial balls come in today. But proving pretty tough out there for the players, these conditions, obviously.
No, it's not the day to play pretty football. It's probably just days where you scrap and hope for the rebound, and you can build up until. But from set pieces, you just got to make sure you at least put it in the mix-up. And it's now Sammet gets on the ball and just overhits that one towards the postman. 63 minutes gone, and usually the time when either team begins to think about substitutions. Pretty youthful bench for Olympia. South Hobart not really needing to chase the game, but do love to see Alex Walter on the pitch. And the shirt grab called against Kobe Kemp there. Short to the Morthog. Thought about spraying it out wide to Gorry. Instead, goes down the line to Loic Farrell. The Frenchman will just keep it in and delivers a teasing ball to Ghetto just over the top of him. Connor Schmidt wins it back well. And Gorry with a little dink over the top to Schmidt, who hits it first time, and that's ended up on the stonework behind the goal of Warrior Park.
Yeah, not the cleanest connection from Connor Schmidt, but the confidence flowing through him at the moment. He's not hesitated to pull the trigger today, or indeed in recent weeks, and shown a bit of an eye for goal. So why not, as Red Johnson Hands over the dead ball. And launches it long, like Farrell. Morton saw it fly over the top of himself, and then he volleys it up to DeVecchi. Controlled it nicely. Takes it into the bullseye under pressure from Orman. Morton to Loic Farrell. The Frenchman sends it across to Kobe Kemp. Kobe Kemp gliding into the box and crossing, but he couldn't pick out a target. Joel Samet gathers the rebound, then sets it out in front of Gordy Gerson and says, go get it. He makes Dogger Brown seem under a bit of pressure, but Brown did well there. The experienced veteran at the back, cool and composed. And Kobe Kemp's not going to be able to track this one down. The game starting to perhaps see a slightly more direct approach being employed by both teams in the last few minutes. A few longer balls starting to come into it as Thomas Little. Where is it? To Darwood. DeVecchi Marins swoops on it and then sends it out for Jack Turner. Of course, the returner started the season at South Hobart. Came to Olympia and then back to South. Well, football might be coming home this month. Jack Turner came home a couple of months ago. As Joffrey Nkoso turns it over to Connor Schmidt.
And not for the first time as well. He's also had a stint at Kingborough before.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's where the Dens he's trick calling.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty happy with life at Darcy Street. Seems to have worked out all right for him as DeVecchi Marins glides through the defence. He got round Little. He couldn't get round Vandermeer, but it's going to be brought back for a foul against Tommy Little. A South Hobart set-piece opportunity and a slice of cheese for Tommy Little.
Yeah, maybe just got a clip of DeVecchi Marins on his darting run. As we'll see, good example of that wind howling through, looking at the patients there, and Dogger Brown getting in a shoving match with Whitey Castaneda in the box there. Vandermeer coming across and saying pick on someone your own size.
It's probably a more appropriate matchup, Vandermeer and Brown, than Whitey can take together. I'm not sure they had it the right way around initially there.
Oscar Thomas and Paul Stevens as well, as quite the height mismatch going on in front as well.
Cody Kemp has got good form on this ground from free kicks, but he's going to set this one up for Morton. And that is an over. And, nowhere near testing Brett Johnson there. The variation didn't quite come off. There's Morton winning the ball back and copping a knock in the process, which set up this DeVecchi run. Let's have a look at Tommy Little, what earned him the slice.
Sorry for the initial reaction there, but I've no idea how that's a dose of daring.
Yeah, I can see the case for a foul, but slightly harsh perhaps. Anyway, DeVecchi Marins. Kobe Kemp. Turner to Ghetto. Chipped it into his own path, and Johnson flies out to get it. Stevens wearing that knee brace on the left knee today. It has led to him being out of the lineup in recent weeks. He's Castaneda. Of course, to Joffrey Nkoso, king of the handles, driving inside and then sends it across for Tommy Little in a bit of space. Tom Little drives it in, Dogger Brown traps it eventually and then clears it. Olympia with 22 minutes here to find a pair of goals.
Yeah, I think going to be very biased here, but I'd love to see Tommy Bellini on the OG salad. He really adds a spark to the lineup. Nick Morton finding Turner. He's got Vandermeer for company down on the side of the ground, and Vandermeer knocks it out for a throw, and we'll see the first sub of the day coming up here. The South Hobart, and I wager this is their new import signing. It's Isaac DeGhetto coming off.
Yeah, so Anthony Legendre has been playing his football in Canada, and he comes on to make his NPL Tasmania debut. So we saw Devonport springing the new import yesterday, South Hobart pulling out the new one today,
and both of them have gone to left wing as well, same as Ivanovic for Devonport yesterday.
perhaps not where we'll see them moving forward. Here he is, the first chance for the substitute Legendre to make an impact. He drives it straight at Johnson, but involved early there. He's the substitute. We look forward to seeing what he can bring. Ken Morton had just a little glint in his eye when he was talking about his latest signing. When he has that look, the last one he had that look in his eye about was DeBecke, so that's worked out all right. We'll see how the new import does here. He's up against Tommy Little. He cuts inside. Cross to Nick Morton, the Morthog. Shifting and trying to make room to shoot, and again, not the right option. Had plenty of bodies forward in support. Adam Gorry making a good run down the right. A little hungry that for mine there, Morthog.
I think he's forgot what sport he's playing in the last 5 minutes there. Nick Morton, a few very, very high attempts at goal. We'll see Johnson looking to take a long goal kick. Yeah, he's got a good eye for all players. Does Coach Ken Morton, but with imports this year, he's got a wonderful track record of bringing DeBecke Marines to the state. We'll see an old import, now a local, Luke Farrell on the ball. Kobe Kemp to Nick Morton, who's beaten out by the business. It's Tommy Little trying to play the return ball. Well, Stevens looking for Nkoso, who switched sides with Dawu for the moment. He's going to try and run at the giraffe Oscar Thomas and Adam Gorry, and eventually 2 beat 1 and out for a throw. Throw in taken by Griffiths, gets towards Nkoso. Using his body well to shield it, back to Wadey Castaneda. Crowded out. Eventually, Samet and the long legs of Oscar Thomas from the ground has somehow delivered that. And here comes Legendre. Got DeBecke and Morton waiting. Tommy Little to peek, gets on the left peak, goes near post. Vandermeer cuts it out. Turner sets it up to Schmidt, shoots. Oh, Connor Schmidt picked that one out. Wonderful strike from the centre midfield. He probably deserved one from his shot early in the game, but he's picked out the top corner perfectly there.
It's an absolute bullet from Connor Schmidt. Turner squares it to him at the top of the box, and just a quick release. Not much of a backlift, but the power he generates on that shot, seriously impressive. And that is the ball game right there. South Hobart 4-1 ahead now. And he hopes Olympia had of a late flurry, surely extinguished with that. And Schmidt caps off an impressive performance today. And the new substitute Legendre making an early impact there with the bursting run. His block cross leading to the goal. So South Hobart, slight wobble in this half as Olympia put them under pressure, but surely done enough to secure the points now, and be well and truly deserving. They've been the superior side.
Still need 2 goals to overtake Zebras on the ladder though. So they've still got something to play for here, South Hobart, for the moment. It's Nkoso, a few players for company, one of which was Kobe Kemp, who committed the foul. I'm hoping South Hobart continue to push on. I don't want this to peter out. The result for the day is pretty much decided. Dogger Brown with an interesting diving header. Then Kieran Brown scrambling across the box. That would have been possibly one of the strangest own goals I've ever seen.
Greatest own goal you'll ever see. This would have been an extraordinary effort from Dogger Brown. He tried his best.
Diving header from 30 metres out into your own goal.
Had Kieran Brown scrambling there, his centre back, and just doing a whole lot of favours. So the corner to be taken here by Warren Wadawu. Plenty of bodies to pick out. Kirsten, one of them flapping at it. Will it fall for Jake Vandermeer? That was shut down. Joffrey and Koso now at the top of the box. Shapes to shoot, blocked by Luke Farrell. Gordy Gerson! Just past the post. Not too far away there from the Gecko. The technique was pretty spot on. The placement slightly off.
Yeah, if you've seen his top 10 Gordy Gerson Nassau highlights video, he's got a few of them in his locker, does the Gecko, but just off target here in the outdoor one, even with the bigger goal. He got a very good technique for that stuff, does Gerson. Dogger Brown trying to get it on the right peg. And ends up well because Nkoso messed up the touch there on the closest to the camera. 75 minutes gone. And it's Luke Farrell looking down the line. Oh, Connor Schmidt rolls the defender well. Knocks it into the path. Oh, good covering challenge from Little. Chandra there was really looking dangerous. I think Morton's done his homework on the maths. He's really wanting to get this corner in with a sense of urgency I wasn't expecting. The Mordog goes centrally. It's nearly falls to Oscar Thomas. Out of his reach. It's out of everyone's reach. And Griffiths with a good tackle. See Castaneda, who's got Schmidt for company. Gerson holds it up well, but Kobe Kemp and Connor Schmidt between them. See that Dogger Brown playing as an auxiliary left winger here. And as you'd expect from a barnstorming centre back, cross right down the throat of the keeper.
Yeah, just enjoying himself up top. He didn't think he'd bother to go back when you've got Kobe Kemp to cover. Why not? Although Gordy Gerson draws a fantastic save out of Kieran Brown there. Good reaction from the young keeper. Gerson making pretty good contacts, but again, left frustrated. He'll wander away from this second half, wondering how he's not got himself a goal with some of these efforts, as Nick Morton lofts this one and it just curls around on the wind there. Connor Schmidt, foul spotted though against Castaneda. And a free kick going the Warriors' way.
Well, Kobe Kemp had that covered in that one-on-one v Gerson, at least from our vantage point, and all of a sudden he had a great shot on goal as Jack Turner has most of Olympia's defence to beat there. Vandermeer, ambitious attempt to spot Kieran Brown off his line. It's not the worst idea in this wind.
Yeah, don't mind the intent. 1 down, 15 to go. Try something as Schmidt plays it back to the Morthog. Kobe Kemp. Luke Farrell, let's look around. So it's going to be South Hobart back within 3 points of the summit after 13 rounds. Next week, the final round of the second full round of fixtures. DeVecchi won't quite get on the end of this one. Then the mad sprint to the finish will begin. Big game next week, Launceston City and Hobart Zebras. That's going to be huge up in Launceston. And certainly it's all very tight at the top right now. But South Hobart coming into some nice form. A couple of players back, key players too in recent weeks. It's all shaping up nicely for them. The Hobart Zebras coming into some form as well as the Nicky Marines back to Nick Morton, who's got time and space. Slides the through for Jack Turner, who's offside. Brett Johnson made a good stop. The flag had been raised. Taken quickly to Castaneda. Gordy Gerson wants it. They feed the Gecko. He looks up and waits for a little more support. Good little chip there. Deft stuff to find Wadawu. Drives at the defence. Couldn't find Samet, but Gerson pounces on it. Back onto his left. Gerson. It's Connor Schmidt who gets a touch on it and takes it over the bar for a corner.
He's very dangerous in situations like that. Is the Gecko, likes to jink and turn inside the box. Managed to create some space for himself well, and a crucial foot out there from the South Hobart defence. They've got Rangers at home next week for South Hobart, which on paper they'd certainly be favourites for. And then with Launceston or Hobart Zebras against each other, they might even leapfrog one of those two, depending on the result. It's with Dawu looking to take the corner. Goes near post. Vandermeer gets a head on it. Gerson's in there as well, but Brown comes out to collect well, and the counter's on here. DeVecchi Marins storming through the middle. He's stayed onside. A foot race against Vandermeer. He's got around the outside as DeVecchi Marins. It's a heavy touch. There, he did very well, DeVecchi Marins, but the third or fourth touch there let him down. Good hustle from Jake Vandermeer to get back as well.
Yeah, showed some good toe there to get back, as Brett Johnson is going to need some treatment from the trainer here. Clutching left arm, left elbow type problem. Some attention, and not an ideal area to get an injury if you're a goalkeeper.
No. Oh, he's in some pain whenever the physio wrenched down on that elbow there.
Yeah, he is. So will we see the Muffin perhaps introduced, a favourite of ours for his exploits in the under-20 statewide cup finals. Angus Murphy, the backup keeper for Olympia today, but hopefully Brett Johnson's able to soldier on. He's probably got about 15 minutes left in this one. You factor in the added time.
Could see another miracle recovery from a keeper, a la the Croatian keeper overnight. Seeming like tearing a hammy with 5 minutes to go. Managing to play on.
And win a penalty shootout.
And win a penalty shootout after it all.
The Subasic, yeah. Pretty remarkable recovery. Amazing how that can happen when you've got a World Cup semi-final spot on the line. Tends to motivate.
It certainly does. As well, we're looking at the screen. It looks like Tommy Bellini's come on the field.
Yeah, can only see the salad from my vantage point, but that's enough to distinguish him.
Oh, that's all you need. That's all you need for Tommy Bellini. It's just the top of that dome. And he's come on in what looks like place of Joffrey and Koso. Play has been restarted with Nick Morton heaving that one up high. Kobe Kemp and Griffiths going up for it. Turner flicking it on to Deveki Marins. Adam Gorry showing his usual lightning pace down the sideline. And wins the throw in. Played towards Schmidt, who passes it to the canteen on return. So it'll be Olympia throw in. Towards Gerson. Griffiths now returns it with interest. Joel Samet against Oscar Thomas. And it'll be a South Hobart throw in. Gerson not particularly happy about the situation. It's Gorry. We'll look to the feet of Turner. Crowded out and Lady Castaneda with a lovely bit of skill. In tight confines there, Joel Samet. Well, she can't quite do likewise. Knocks it right down the throat of the keeper.
Gendra back to Luke Farrell. Real French wing for South Hobart here. He's French sounding in Legendra's case. This one's out there to Adam Gorry, who'll charge at Griffiths and takes it past him. Lovely work here from Adam Gorry. Griffiths soldiering on and won the battle in the end, did John O'Griffiths, although he's adjudged to have fouled. And Gorry, I think, looks a little surprised. He's got himself a free kick, but Griffiths puts his hands up and says, what can I do?
No protest there from Gorry wanting the free kick, so equally as confused. The assistant referee stepping out the free kick ball here, which is something I can't say I've seen a whole lot of in my life.
That's new. Getting involved, don't mind it. Absolutely. Make yourself useful while you're there. As the Morthog curls it in, away by Stevens. No one there, so Luke Farrell will be first to the fall of it. Sends it down the line. Didn't actually have anyone on down the line though. And it'll be a goal kick.
Yeah, the French do love going down the left wing, so he was expecting Legendre down there.
Couldn't quite find anyone. Johnson. Done by Wadawu. Here's Turner. Ooh, intercepted by the Gecko. Works it back to Castaneda. Bloody Castaneda to the salad Bellini. Dancing on the ball. Lunging in with Schmidt. Now Adam Gorry with a lofting ball trying to play in Legendre. How's his touch? He can't quite track it, and Tommy Little should be able to escort this one out of play. Good crossfield ball, that one. Nothing coming from it. Jake Vandermeer. Down the line for Wadawu. The business Altman turns into a little bit of trouble, but he eventually got through, but the numbers went out for South. Morton. Turner, back to Morton. Legendre crosses in. Deveki's there, deflects into the path of Gorry, away by Griffiths. And then Bellini can take it out of there to Castaneda. Bloody Castaneda. Schmidt still working hard. Didn't kill the ball though. Allows Castaneda to continue. Bellini back to Castaneda. To Samet. No one wide, so he goes to Wadawu, chips it to Gordy Gerson. Gordy Gerson! What a save, Kieran Brown again. He's denied him on a couple of occasions in this half. He's really wondering what he's got to do to score. Gordy Gerson And once again, the outstanding young Kieran Brown comes to the rescue for South.
He does that every week, Kieran Brown. It's not just a one-off. Gordy Gerson, I think, lets that one roll out in the anticipation it's a corner, and it is. I mean, Kieran Brown, he just whips it out every week. It's absolutely stunning save.
It's impressive stuff. Twice he shut down Gordy Gerson from the angle, going back across the face of goal, trying to sneak it in at the far post. Twice there's been no way past young Kieran Brown as he kills this to the back post. Outstanding season last year that perhaps got a little overshadowed because South Hobart was so dominant last season. There weren't too many times they were that challenged, but this year, when these saves are worth a bit more and the league title's so tight, getting a bit more prominence, and deservedly so. Kieran Brown, fantastic young talent. That save on Tyler Fisher last week, I think, could loom as one of the more decisive moments of the season. Here's Legendre. Cuts inside, gets it to Connor Schmidt. Schmidt to Morton. Morton tried to work it to Gorry. That got shut down. Oscar Thomas mistimes the back pass, but still found Kemp with it. Keeled it on to the head of Griffiths, and now Adam Gorry takes over. Charging through the middle. Legendre. Track this one down. Back to Loic Farrell. To Adam Gorry. An exercise in ball control this from South. Kobe Kemp. Nick Morton. Kobe Kemp continued his run. Move was just broken up. Brown. Farrell. Legendre. Drifting inside and then goes back outside to Turner. Turner back to Legendre. Legendre tried to find a way to get it to Morton. Couldn't do so.
Johnson had all the angles covered well there at the near post. Looks long towards Gerson. He'll get it down on the first touch. He hasn't got a whole lot of options, but Bellini is there for company. It's going to have to be a crossfield ball here to get it to a teammate, Gordy Gerson. He was crowded out by South Hobart players. Jack Turner turning Tommy Little and then knocking it out to nobody in particular. Little takes the throw in. Samet. Oh, Bellini with a lovely bit of skill to get around Loic Farrell. And manages to win the foul off Dogger Brown.
Has the scoreboard got an H on it instead of a 4?
They've put the 4 upside down. Would be another moment of peak NPL TAS there on the scoreboard. We'll have to see that one later, as I don't think the camera can quite turn around that far, but it is 1H the score to the visitors.
Maybe just saying hi.
Could be. Yeah, it's really in a rush there, the match manager, to change the scoreboard, and let's hope it can get changed again. Wadawu knocks it in, but well headed clear. You might get another opportunity, the postman. Turns towards the sideline, and he's nearly ran out of it, but he managed to keep it in play, only to turn the ball over. It's Deveki Marins against Ortman, looking for Morton, who probably winning the throw was the best option there. I think Morton had strayed slightly offside.
Substitution being prepared on one of the benches down there. So the Warriors are set to introduce a couple of youngsters into the fray.
Certainly by the hair, I'd say it's Jackson Abini coming on.
Yeah, you'd have to say that is Jackson Abini. And we've also got Benjamin Curtis coming on for Wadi Castaneda and Jonathan Griffiths. Olympia giving a few minutes at the end to a couple of their prospects, and we'll see plenty of that across the final round of the season. Flooding of the youth in preparation for next year, but South Hobart is set to make it 11 in a row, as there is the aforementioned H on the scoreboard. I don't know if the person who was adjusting the scoreboard was upside down or something, but they've made an absolute mess of it.
Absolutely, they suspended them off the brick wall over there in order to do it, and it was, yeah.
How? it's just bizarre.
The you've got one job gif is just ringing through my head at the moment, as we'll see the long ball in direction of Bellini. Oscar Thomas Should be able to shield this one out, and he does.
He grabbed a scope, but absolutely inconsequential, but just hilarious. As Kieran Brown plays it out to Dogger Brown. He goes to the Morthog Morton.
Don't think it'll be the last we see of that sign, funnily enough, I'd say.
Could feature later in the week, you're suggesting, Paul?
I'm potentially suggesting that, yeah.
And Morton works it to Turner. Alternative guide to the NPL TAS, brought to you by Paul Hunt. Just a weekly appointment rating, that is. There's Brown.
Or fortnightly, as the case is with my slackness.
Yeah, someone's got to look after all the tourists when we got Mona in town, as Gorey tries to get round a beanie. In for Kobe Kemp. Kobe Kemp striding forward and blasting one to try and catch the keeper by surprise. He did surprise him, but Johnson gets across and puts it behind. Just about dealt with it.
I think it took a deflection on the way in as well, Kobe Kemp. He's rifled it with the left foot, and it may have been either Deveki Marins or one of the defenders just trying to direct it into the far side of the goal. So we'll see. And now the corner come in from South Hobart near post. Johnson punches clear and then asks his defence why was no one in a bull's roar of the South Hobart player. Kemp towards the back stick. Dr. Brown offside. Jack Turner helps it back to Morton, who has another ping. Well, Schmidt initially gave it away and then won it back quite well. A turn there from that looks like the chef, I think, for South Hobart.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not sure when Ryan Cook has snuck onto the park, but he's just inserted himself into the contest, apparently, replacing Isaac DeGhetto, I guess.
Loic Farrell?
Yes, Loic Farrell.
No more French left wing, that's disappointing. It's
Legendre. Where is it to Ryan Cook? And the Morthog Morton. Back to Kobe Kemp. Kemp to Turner. They work it to Cook. Patient build up this from South Hobart. Morton again. Back to Legendre. And the chef. Hobart content just to keep a hold of the ball right now. Now Morton pulls the trigger and swings it in towards Kobe Kemp, but comfortably enough collected by Brett Johnson. Got a little head to the nose, but he'll be fine. And Josh McInerney has brought this one to an end. South Hobart comprehensive winners by a margin of 4-1, and they move back within 3 points of the summit. 2 goals inside of the first 3 minutes had it just about sewn up in the very early going. Olympia improved in the second half with the wind at their backs, but South Hobart comfortable and deserved winners on the day, starting there with the magical Brazilian. He got us started, and they didn't look back from that point on, Paul Hunt.
No, certainly didn't. 2 goals in the first 3 minutes for the Brazilian import, Renato Deveki Marins, and that first one's amazing. Connor Schmidt again. That is an absolutely wonderful shot, and then it's pretty hard to miss there, Deveki Marins from that far out, and that really put South Hobart well in advance, especially in the howling conditions that we had here at Warrior Park. 3rd goal on counter-attack, Jack Turner, who played more of a striking role today, more number 9, setting up Isaac DeGhetto. And then most of these goals, as he scored in the first half, it was 3-0 to South Hobart, and then Warren Wadawu again managing to find Kieran Brown's angles slightly off there. Might need a protractor in the week, Kieran Brown. The postman delivers, and then the sealer right into the path of Connor Schmidt, who gets a well-deserved goal for all his efforts in the centre of the park today. Connor Schmidt, 4-1 South Hobart, and a well-deserved victory, I think.
And that evens it right back up at the top. 3 points separate 4 teams as we complete 13 rounds of the NPL Tasmania season next week. Back up at Buckby Land Rover Park. More big action there, the Italian derby. Do join us for that one as Launceston City look to arrest their little slide that's seen them drop into 2nd place on the table against a surging Hobart Zebras. Every time a top 4 side plays each other in the run home. Very significant indeed. It'll be no different next week. Do join us for that one. But for now, from Warrior Park here at Slice of Cheese, a day South Hobart once again too good for Olympia. They extend the streak to 11 with a 4-1 victory.